Morning, beautiful people. It is Wednesday. Can you believe it? Halfway through. So, you tick off God long enough.
Wow.
Let's talk about that. And Luna. Drop the beat, Luna. Or not. Don't drop the beat. Oh, good morning. Time for a healthy breakfast. Kids don't like it. That's weird. Anyway, no. Just kidding. So, you tick off God long enough. Now, a lot of times we read the Bible and we have this one page where it says everything's going well. God's blessing them. And the next page you're like, they did something wrong and God put them in exile or God did this to them. And we think, oh, that's like a week or two or a month. But they had years between these things. Years. I mean, multiple years between God saying... Sometimes decades. Saying, hey, look, stop this. This is what's going to happen. Stop this. This is what's going to happen. Stop that. This is what's going to happen. And over again, God said through the prophets or through His Word or through other means that, look, I'm warning you, this is what's going to happen if you keep on this track. It's not like they didn't know what was going to happen. It wasn't like a shock to them, like, oh my goodness, God's punishing us. They were told over and over, just like a teenager. Hey, don't do that. Or a little kid, hey, don't do that. And guess what they do? They always want to do it. Because our heart is corrupt. Okay? We want our way, and that's it. We want our society's way. We want our rules. We want our pleasures, our identity. And guess what the problem is? It's an I problem. Okay? God knows best. You follow Him, and that is the best way. It's been proven over and over, and it's been proven so many times in so many people's lives that we just sit back and we're like, oh no, we could do it better. Come on, people. Really?
Come on.
We're not God. We are not intended to be our own gods. Okay? We are humans created in the image of God. And so in 2 Kings, chapter 17, verse 7, it says this. And there was the last king of Israel, and then they're going into this whole, it gets messy after this. Okay, so here we go. All of this took place because Israelites had sinned against the Lord their God, who had brought them out of Egypt from under the power of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. They worshipped other gods. Now, how did they get from this point of taken out of Egypt, all the miracles performed, kept them alive in the desert, gave them the promised land, gave them all these things, all these miracles they've seen, their grandparents seen, everybody saw these miracles. They know God exists, they know God is real, and yet they worshipped other gods. Let's see how that happened. Well, they started compromising the truth. They started compromising the way of life. They started compromising their morality. They said, oh, well, this is a really cool tradition, and then they started doing it. And then they're like, oh, well, if it's a cool tradition and we can mix it with this, then I guess it's okay. And then we're like, oh, we can marry into other religions, but my wife really wants to sacrifice to this God, and since we have traditions, why not? I mean, what can it really hurt? And it goes from this little seed of saying, oh, these are okay, to open Pandora's box and they do everything. They start sacrificing children, they start, having sexual orgies, they have all these traditions that look good on the outside, but really deep down they're worshiping gods. And so, God warned them over and over again, hey, don't go that way, this is what's going to happen. Don't do that, this is what's going to happen. And they kept doing it, they thought they were God, they thought they were better than Him, and they got punished. The really cool thing about God is He's always faithful. Once they are punished, He doesn't just leave them. He just doesn't throw them away and say, oh, you're punished, I'm not going to be with you ever again. I'm going to be angry with you the whole time. He actually comes back as a father and loves them, takes care of them, and helps them. And then they do it all over again. God's the same way. God is the same in the Old Testament than he is in the New Testament. God is a caring, wonderful, personable God. And he brought Jesus Christ so we don't have to suffer those consequences. We don't have to suffer his wrath. We don't have to suffer hell. And so we need Jesus to fulfill all the things that God has commanded in the Old Testament. So, we're not supposed to worship other gods. I mean, small g, like TV, sports, children, society, opinion, tradition. We're not supposed to worship any of those things. It's only about Jesus Christ. So my encouragement today is, what are you worshiping more than Jesus? If you are worshiping something more than Jesus, get it out and done with. Because God has warned us over and over again, don't do that, because this is what's going to happen. And yet we're surprised when it happens. I love you. Jesus loves you too. You have a great, what is it?
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday. Thank you, Luna, for being on 5 Minutes with Frankie.
Oh, the whole time.
I know, it's great.
Wow.
All right, love you, bye.